Hey, this is Tony Soprano, and you're listening to Jersey Boyz Podcast with your hosts, Dave Sturchio and the Ernst Boys. I mean, I could give a shit about the Cowboys. We're in New Jersey. These guys got balls being Cowboys fans in Jersey. Anyways, enjoy. Whatever.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Jersey Boyz Podcast right here on the Chop Sports Media YouTube channel and wherever you get your podcasts, whether that be Apple, Spotify, if Google still has podcasts, I don't know, they're out there. Dave Sturchio alongside nationally known comedian Brett Ernst, and the Grinch is back in the building as well, Mr. America's fan Keith Ernst. Fellas, how we doing? It's finally time to start talking, cracking some skulls, man. We're going to get some action today, as a matter of fact, as we record this. It'll be dropped pretty much midway through the padded practice, joint practice between the Dallas Cowboys and the Los Angeles Rams. A lot to take away from the first week of training camp. The pads are on. Guys are looking a little, faster with pads on that we expected, which is cool. But also we have a massive preseason game to gear up for. Preseason game 1 coming up against the Rams on Saturday. So there's a lot to get into. First and foremost, how are we doing? Brett, you survived all the off-roading and everything like that, which is cool. We've been tracking you online. Glad you're okay.
Yeah, bro, it was great. That whole company that I'm working for, Zeem, they're like live streaming in a van, and then we went like to all these different towns. It's pretty cool. They had a Super Bowl commercial last year. They're gonna have another one this year.
Nice.
Yeah, they're really blowing up. So you should check out Zeem. Maybe I can get us on it.
Yeah, well, I definitely got a kick out of the fact that I think it was one of the clips you're like, this is Johnny Knoxville, walk on the jackass, whatever, because it was like, it's very similar to the shit that those guys would do. But definitely
this guy owns his own, like, they have off of Lake Michigan, they have like, it's like a beach. And he had this whole stretch of beach, man. The guy that owns the company, and it was fun, man.
Badass. Keith. It's like Christmas, man. We got a game to play sooner or later, Saturday night, but we got a joint practice going into today. What are you looking forward to the most, or looking for the most? I mean, obviously you can't get too crazy about preseason football, but there's a lot of positions that are kind of up for grabs right now. So what exactly are you looking for as we head into the first padded practice?
Only one position. Only one position, and that's linebacker. That's all I'm going to be looking at.
Okay.
That's it.
Well, I was talking to Brett in right before you jumped on, and the Dallas Cowboys, according to John Machota, have released their first unofficial 2025 depth chart, which pretty much goes to show you where they stand right now heading into their first preseason game. And in that linebacker room.
Wait, I have a question though, Sturch. Is this
Sure.
just the depth chart for the preseason game or for the whole season?
For the whole season, because, Dak is listed, CD's listed. It's everybody that's listed no matter what they're going to do. And I think I really, really want to hear from Brian Schottenheimer today or tomorrow. There's a chance. I don't know why, but I got this gut feeling that we're finally going to get some of these starters to do something in the first game. I don't know why. I don't think it's going to be some clear cut, Dak rest, CD rest. All these guys are not going to play at all. Like, I think we're actually going to get something out of this. Not really counting the stellar performance out of Trey Lance in the Hall of Fame game. Our former Cowboys great Trey Lance balled out, really did. But again, Justin Herbert didn't see the field. It's the first of their 4 preseason games for the Chargers, but for the Cowboys, there's only 3. So we'll see. But speaking of the linebacker room, on this depth chart, we have as starting linebackers right now, it says Kenneth Murray, it says Jack Sanborn, and it says Maurice Liufau or Damone Clark. It actually says "or" on the depth chart. So, look, man, Keith, I know that you've been hard on him over the last couple of years. Damone Clark is turning some heads in preseason. Do you have any ounce of confidence that this kid can turn it around under the Eberflus system?
In training camp, you mean?
Sure. Yeah. I'm sorry. I don't know what I said.
No, that's okay. No, I don't. I think you either have it or you don't. And that's just my opinion.
Well, what I was saying is that, we got to look at it too. What I was explaining to Dave, right? So let's say, like, I played 1AA or Division II football. The difference between Division II football and Division I is like this. The difference between Division I and the NFL is like this. And sometimes, you know, you get a rookie that comes in, you get that first year, second year. What is he in his third year?
I believe he's in his third year, if I'm not mistaken.
Or fourth. Yeah.
If you're looking at it, like a lot of times in college, you get guys that don't really come around into their junior or senior year. So this is kind of his junior or senior year. He could be getting acclimated. He could be, you know, because obviously the coaches are high on him, because I've been following it, and they say, yo, he's been having an amazing camp. It's his best camp ever. So who knows? He could come into his own.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you think he just doesn't possess the skill set?
No, I think it's easy to shoot gaps when you're in shoulder pads and shorts, opposed to when you're actually going full strength at 100%. You tend to wait for a running back to get to you, and those type of things, which I noticed from him more than any other linebacker we have. Now, what I will say for Damone Clark, maybe he'd be a better safety or something. I have no clue. I just don't like him at linebacker. Obviously, he's talented and he's a gifted athlete. I just don't like him at that position. But once again, I'm excited about the linebackers, and I'm excited about the preseason game mostly because we're not going to see any of those three guys that you're talking about, or four guys play most of the game, I should say. I want to see the guys.
I mean, if there's an or on the depth chart, you would assume that
I said most of the game. Okay. I know they're going to play, but I'm saying most of the game. So I'm talking about the second half, or you know what I mean, something like that. We're going to get to see some of these linebackers that I've been reading about. Other guys, I don't have the names off the top of my head, that are playing pretty well.
You have names like Shamar James.
James is the one guy I've been hearing about. Buddy
Johnson has been one of those guys that people have talked about.
We've had him before, though, right?
Yeah. And Justin Barron is another name to look at. So look, competition, it does create storylines, yes, but it also creates, iron sharpens iron type deal, right? So like, let's see how these guys do in a scrimmage today, which again, it's controlled. All you hope for is no injuries, and you don't want any fights or anything like that, which I don't know if you guys noticed, but Brian Schottenheimer's no fight policy is unbelievable. I don't know if you guys have watched this.
Yeah.
But anytime the fight breaks out, he makes them run suicides. So it's like, we're going back to high school here in Pop Warner shit, where he's not taking any crap, which is, to me, it's I don't know, man. I'm excited about that kind of
course you
coaching. No, dude, but think about it like this. No, I'm being realistic here.
Well, you know what I like about that, actually? You know what I do like about it? He didn't do it at first. Like, he let them fight, and then they just fighting, and then he started doing it. It's like, all right, enough's enough. We get it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like if it was McCarthy or Wade Phillips or Jason Garrett, the guys were like, come on, guys, let's be one. This guy's going in there saying, you fight again, you're off the field. It feels Jimmy Johnson. I'm not comparing him. It feels Jimmy Johnson like, oh, you got asthma? You're cut. You know what I mean? Like, it just feels like a little bit different. Cracking the whip.
You got to know too. You could get hurt.
Keith is all over me right now. I can feel it.
You can get hurt in those fights, man.
Of course. Yeah. Well, morons throw punches at helmets, which is
it's more of like, because you have the pads on. I hurt my lower back in a fight one time on the field, and it affected me. So because you're rolling around on the ground, then you get piled on. You can get hurt, man.
Of course.
If you get hurt in a drill,
right?
Like what happened to Diggs last year, you can get hurt in a fight, and you got to be smart.
But fighting has always been part, going back to high school, of when you get in pads. It's just something that they let you do at first, but then it gets, especially when you're grown ass men. Like,
exactly, it has nothing to do with the brotherhood. You know what I mean? Like, they all love each other at the end of the day, but like, tempers are going to flare. There's testosterone flying everywhere. Like, it's going to be a thing if you trip up on the wrong guy. But anyway, so the linebackers is obviously something we'll be focusing and zeroing in on to start. Also, it seems like the secondary has been taking a little bit of hits here and there as far as the cornerback situation is concerned. The cornerbacks right now, as listed, if Trayvon Diggs was healthy, he would be cornerback 1. And then you have Deron Bland, and then you have Kaiir Elam, who's also had himself a fantastic camp so far. He's doing a lot of pass breakups. Excited to see what he can do, because again, recency bias and recency storage. You would look at a guy like Kaiir Elam, and the last time I saw him in a professional setting, he was getting worked, in the AFC title game, like just just badly worked. But again, just like to Damone Clark and just like some of these guys that are unproven, maybe it is a system change that kind of sparks them a little bit, or even just a culture change, just a location, right? Maybe Buffalo ain't the place for you, buddy. Maybe Dallas is. So again, one of those things we have to keep in mind.
With defensive backs, it has to do with pass rush a lot.
Sure.
So I meant, once again, if going back to that game, there was that you're talking about the Ravens game, right?
The AFC title game. So the Bills and the Chiefs.
The Chiefs, right. So you got Mahomes back there. I meant, not getting much pressure running around. If that happens with us, he's going to get worked again.
Right.
So people don't understand how hard it is to play defensive back in the NFL.
Sure.
So of course he's having a camp now, once again, because it's 7-on-7. It's just regular drills. The quarterback knows where he's going. He's not running around back and forth for 10 seconds before throwing a ball. It's different than game speed. And me personally, I am excited about this kid. I think, but we have to get to the quarterback. Very important to get to the quarterback, because if we don't get to the quarterback and then DBs are getting beat, that's the first thing you're going to hear is these defensive backs suck.
I think the defensive line, or the edge rushers in particular, are where we are the deepest, believe it or not, which
I agree.
It's hard. It's hard to even say that, considering like how we lost somebody like a quote locker room leader like DeMarcus Lawrence. But yeah, you look at this depth chart, man, and obviously, awesome. we'll get into the Micah thing in a little bit, but opposite of Micah, you got Marshawn Nealon, you got Tyrus Wheat, you got Dante Fowler Jr. coming back, you got Sam Williams, you got Peyton Turner turning some heads. So there is a lot of
and that's depth. An awesome rotation, bro. That's
really
so good. Fresh legs coming in. I'm excited about that. I am.
And like to your point, even if our secondary is looking a little bleak injury wise, if you don't have a pass rush, Deion Sanders can't cover you that long. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like it's all the same. It's all one and the same. So the defensive pass rush is something to definitely look forward to, Brett.
Well, you know what's crazy? Like, again, going back to the older clips that I sent you guys, we didn't have rotations in the 80s. Those guys took every snap, and now,
sure.
It's crazy that, and yeah, fresh legs are great. You have specialists that come in on certain downs. Again, our weak spots linebacker, and I'm excited to see how they play. I mean, because like he said, we're going to look at the guys that could potentially, step up, and that's where you find those. I don't want to sound generic, but like the hidden gems, you can find them in preseason, and in real game situations, how they, fill the holes or get back into coverage, which, is Micah's strong point. Like I don't think he's the best edge rusher in the NFL. I think he's probably the best defensive player, because there's very few that can drop back into coverage like him. And can screw up a whole fucking offensive scheme and game plan with him on the field alone. He's got to be accounted for.
Yeah.
And
and listen, as you say that, it's the reason why he's about to, in my opinion, become the highest paid non-quarterback in the league. Because if you have to game plan for one guy, that just shows you he's a game wrecker and he's worth every penny. Now, look, we're not going to sit there and count dollars and cents, but he's going to shatter some records once that deal is signed.
I don't think he should be the highest paid non-quarterback in the NFL. That's my opinion.
Really?
I do not. No.
Well, I look.
Let me talk about Micah real quick. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Love Micah, and I think he deserves a great contract. All right, but let's talk about also where was Micah in the Green Bay playoff game when they scored on us on every single drive? We're talking 7 drives in a row, touchdowns. Where was Micah then? Where's my? If someone's going to be the highest paid, you think that happened to a Ray Lewis or a Reggie White
or LT?
Well, I don't know this off the top of my head, but was Ray Lewis at one point the highest paid non-quarterback at any point? I don't know.
That's not my point. My point is the person making that money should be that type of player. That's what I'm trying to say.
And while I agree to, to an extent.
I think Micah, this is my breakdown on Micah. I agree. Sure. You do have to game plan around it. But what I notice about him is he goes for the big play, and I love it. But when that big play doesn't work out, he disappears. Like, basically, it doesn't work, and you'll see him stop. He'll hustle. He'll do those things, but it's almost like he's looking he's looking to make a huge, impactful play, and I love that. But that's not always going to happen. Sometimes you just got to make a good play and a tackle. You get what I'm saying?
Fair.
So
yeah.
If you watch the first few weeks last year when we got ran all over, he was a big part of that. He was not doing the read option very well against Lamar Jackson. I mean, there was because he was trying to make the big play, and he was over pursuing, and it was just bad football by him.
And so Keith brought up a good point in our conversation. Obviously when we just talked, and they're allowing these guys to be held now.
Yes, that's true too. Mm-hmm.
So it does kind of take away from, because how many times was Micah held last year?
Every play, you would think,
and they didn't call it. I mean,
remember the one against the Dolphins, guys?
The
dude had him around the neck, and you just see fucking Tua just completely, and they don't call it. And that was a game breaker. That's another thing. Yeah, and he's right. Like that whole the allowing them to hold even for 2 seconds now without calling it. Then why put that much money into in a pass rusher if you're not going to be able to utilize them anymore?
So then I raise you the question: why did the Raiders pay Max Crosby? Why did the Steelers pay TJ Watt? Why is it?
I'm not. That's not me. I don't know. I meant that's.
Listen, it's not against, and it was the same argument we had 5 years ago when we paid Dak. Right? When you're talking about what the market values, it applies to everybody. Mm-hmm. Not just the Cowboys. I mean, you're overpaying for a lot of players that really, I mean, I don't care what the market dictates.
Yeah. Like why follow? I don't understand, but why follow that? That's what I'm trying to say, Sturch. Like, why are we why do we have to follow that? Why can't we just think of our own, think on our own and be like, 100%. What? I don't want to, this is the contract I'm going to offer him, which would be and even Mike has even said he doesn't want to be the highest paid non-quarterback.
That was before David Mulgada or whatever his name is got hold
right?
Yeah, that agent has been a thorn in the side all of a sudden, and that was part of Micah's long text and release statement where he said he didn't want to be here anymore, which really kind of rubbed me the wrong way. I know this is kind of like weird, and like Myles Garrett said the same thing, like I want to be out of here. Thank you, Cleveland. Thank you, fans. Just trade me, And
exactly.
Like 2 days later, he got a massive deal.
It's just
it absolutely is, but I think his wordage and verbiage was very, very off-putting to me. You know what I mean? It's like Myles Garrett, who has won Defensive Player of the Year multiple times now, like he went out there and thanked Cleveland, thanked the front office. Like he was very humble about it, but saying like, all right, it's not going to work here. I've always wanted to play here, but it ain't going to work. It's time to trade me. Micah literally blasted and said, I don't want to be here anymore. I no longer want to be a Dallas Cowboy. Trade me. And I'm like, well, there's negotiation, and then there's like sucking the soul out of the fan base. Because when I read that, I was like, oh, come on, man. Like, you could have just said, like, look, man, Jerry and my agent just haven't talked. This is getting this is garbage. I'm in the dark with all this. Can somebody please figure something out? If not, trade me, right? That's fine. But, like, I no longer want to be here. Really stuck and resonated with me.
I get it. But he's still, number one, he's still a kid. And number two, everyone handles things differently. That means nothing.
And you know what? Let's give him his props too. He's been practicing. He's been showing up.
Exactly.
Well, he's not practicing the last couple of days, but
he's there, bro. But I was reading. He's just like watching, right? Like, was he playing quarterback or something?
I mean, there was one article that came out. They're like, oh, he's not even wearing his jersey, right? And then Schottenheimer was like, dude, put your fucking jersey on. He put his jersey on. But like, that's and you know what though? I thought my opinion right there would have like resonated with you guys a little better. Because of the years and the years where you're like, I care about the Cowboys. I care about the guys with the star on the helmet, not the name on the back of the jersey. So for the first time, I was just like, you know what, man? If you don't want to be here, then don't be. It's like DeMarcus Lawrence type shit. Like you're like, I'm the leader. I'm the new leader. It's my time now. Look at me. I'm the captain now.
Because I think he wants to be there. I think look, he grew up a Cowboys fan. He loves the Cowboys. He's just posturing right now. Because look, they should have did this deal last year.
No shit. They always are a year behind. We said, I guarantee you, if we go back to listen to our podcast from last year when we were talking about Dak and CeeDee Lamb, we literally said out loud, I don't know who said it, maybe myself, maybe one of you guys. We literally said, and guess what? Next year, this time, we'll be talking about Micah. And here we are. So it's like, it ain't rocket science.
Go back to that, what you said, Sturch, and I do like that you're defending the star when you say that, but I'll be honest, man, and I'm still that way, but I keep saying I'm a logo fan now. And when I say I'm a logo fan, who's ever wearing it is wearing it. Because when we signed someone like Terrell Owens, that took the whole thing, we're the Dallas Cowboys, no one disrespects us and blah, blah, blah. This is a guy who stood on our star, shit all over us, always had comments to make, and then we sign him to $1 million contract. I don't even kind of look at the player, man. I don't. I look at the star. I look at the logo. I root for the logo. I look
at the production of Tony Romo when Terrell Owens was there. So.
I also look at the fact that with that logo, that the person that is playing is a good person. I'm not saying that, and they probably are. And I'd rather that. But whatever they want to say, like what Micah said, hey, just if he's going to play for us and he's going to get us a Super Bowl, let's just get it.
And I to me, when it's a guy like to me, it's a generational talent. I think the guy is all world. I think he's one of the most explosive edge rushers in the game. So therefore, again, I know you don't like this term or this phrase, but if market value dictates that he has to be the highest paid non-quarterback, whatever the hell, to keep him on this team, then Jerry should have just been like, all right, here you go. You know what I mean? Like, because we're not in cap hell. We're not in cap hell. I know everybody's got the worry about this the fucking Trayvon Diggs and the Terrence Steele and the Zeke second contract, and everybody has like this PTSD about all the bad moves that Jerry has made so far. And I'm not saying that Terrence Steele or Trayvon Diggs is a bad move per se as far as their early contract, but it's not playing out the way they thought it would play out. But like, let's not worry about those other guys. I feel like Parsons is on an island by himself here.
Go ahead, bro, because I got something to say.
Go ahead, Brett. Sorry.
But we also have injury issues with him. He missed a lot of games last year. He seems healthy now, but he gets hurt.
It's anybody.
Yeah, but that's the thing. You're going to give him all this money, and then he's not even on the field.
Yeah, but dude, that's anybody. Literally anybody.
This is how I look at that. Okay, this is what, and I would actually be in favor of maybe making him a non-quarterback, the highest paid. But you just said something earlier, which is so true. We're deep already on edge rushers.
Fair.
Now, here's my thing. Okay. If that is not a weakness of ours right now, it's just not. An edge rusher is not a weakness.
But it's an absolute premium when Micah Parsons is one of the guys lining up.
What I'm trying to say, it's not. If I'm saying if a trade did happen with Micah Parsons, and you can get other needs on this team plus a couple first round picks, I would think about it.
And according to a lot of reports, that as soon as he said, I want to be traded, 31 other teams jumped down Jerry's throat and say, here's my offer. Like they're all pursuing him.
But I meant they would have to be the only one I would do a straight swap with. There's only one player I would do a straight swap, no first rounds or anything. That's Fred Warner. But that wouldn't happen.
No, wouldn't happen.
Yeah, I know it's not going to happen, but I'm just saying if he was if he wanted to leave and they wanted to leave and they're like, all right, I would take Warner in a fucking minute. Sorry,
I mean, look.
I think I'm on Blogging with the Boys. I'm cursing it and apologizing.
ultimately, which don't even have any podcasts anymore. Ultimately, like when I look at Micah Parsons as a whole, I do consider him a complete game record, game-changing type dude, and that's why I think you need to just say, okay, we're
also negating the fact that he's our best outside linebacker. And if Overshown came back, let's say we're deep in the edge, and we've got Micah at one outside and Overshown at the other when he gets back. I mean, he's still our best linebacker.
Yeah, but I mean, they don't. It's been a while since anybody's actually considered him an all true linebacker.
True.
Because of his ability to get to the quarterback as an edge rusher.
But I'm saying if we have other guys that can rush.
Yeah, no, listen, in a perfect world, I would have Nealand and like anybody else, anybody else, and then Micah on the outside of that. You know what I mean? It's like, holy shit, like, and you send 5, all you gotta do, like the key in the goal for every defensive line is to get home with 4. And we can do that with Micah Parsons. But shit, you put him on the field
now.
with Nealon and somebody else, you're gonna make quarterbacks living.
So you have Sanborn as the middle, right? He's set in the middle. So the other two outside, Luafo, who I'm excited about.
Big on Maurice, yeah.
And then obviously K9, who I think is basically starting because of the contract he got.
I mean,
my opinion,
contract. I mean,
well, I know it wasn't that, but I mean, he was like the big splash of our first big splash, apparently. Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see how he does. But I meant he's been on how many teams already, and he's been horrible against the run. And I don't know if it is a system thing, like you guys were saying.
That's the hope. That's the hope. I'm not saying it's a
with
system
that
thing.
being said, someone like Micah taking that when you already have edge rushers taking that position, hell yeah.
You could float him around anywhere you want. You could put him at fucking safety at this point. You know what I mean? Like Micah Parsons is that unicorn.
One of the fastest guys on the team.
he runs step for step with Tyreek Hill. Like that's not a joke.
He beat him in a race or something?
Yeah, like you at least made it close. You know,
I think he beat him. It was like the Pro Bowl weekend.
The Pro Bowl shit, yeah.
You just beat. He's like, yeah. He goes, I got like he downplayed it.
Right, he's one of the fastest dudes alive.
Yeah.
So.
And if we're just putting gun to our head, okay. Sign him. Give him his money. He's shown. I mean, to me, he's shown a lot of class and character by just showing up for camp, not holding out. He bit his tongue for a while. You know, I'm 100% sure the agents are like, look, we're going to pull this Myles Garrett move. Let's see if that does anything. I mean, look, in his defense too, why are the Jones trying to negotiate? You know, the agents got to get involved. So what are you trying to do?
That is the biggest mystery I can't seem to figure out. I mean, Jerry
we
Jones and Stephen Jones are businessmen.
But
you know that
the answer. They're trying.
But what player in the history of players, Brett, has ever signed a contract without an agent?
Let me put it in my business. A lot of times, club owners will call me and say, "Look, I'm not negotiating what I'm gonna get. Go through my agents." Because they know if they talk to me, you know, I might be like, yeah, whatever, but you have to go through the agents. And I think it was a little bit of manipulation on the Joneses' part. And
sure, you know, I mean, there was a handshake, basically a handshake agreement in March, April, right? They're like, hey, this is what the contract's gonna look like. You're gonna get yours, blah, blah, blah. And then Micah ended that conversation, was like, yeah, man, just throw it to my agent, we'll get this done. And like Jerry almost took offense to it.
I got a call after this today. And the guy that reached out to me is a legitimate guy. And he's like, look, let me set this up. And I said, well, let's talk first. Right. But I'm not negotiating any deals. You know, you just don't.
The problem is, Brett, much to your credit, you've made a lot of good relationships over the time of touring the country. Right. So like when the Stress Factory calls you up, which I saw that you're going to be back in December. Awesome. Let's roll. But like when the Stress Factory calls you up, it's Vinny and he's talking to you. And he's like, hey, you want to come back to Jersey? Sure. How's this money? Yeah, that's awesome. The agent is going to be the one that's going to say, hey, whoa. You can get more, Brett. You know what I mean? Like, and then you have to sit there and listen.
It's more like you say, look, I got this date open. Let me call. But they all go through your agents. The only ones that don't are ones that are like not trying to, but are like, they don't want to deal with them.
Right.
But, you know, there's a difference between he's the talent. And that's his job, and you got to go through his agents. Now, the agents are known, though, to fuck things up.
Yeah.
Because
I think this one is kind of almost not fucking it up, but like, I feel like there was something that was in place already, and he stepped up and said, whoa, wait. Just hold off. Let Matt and TJ and these guys sign their deals. Myles Garrett, let them sign their deals, because once they sign their deals, up goes the price.
And the problem, though, with this type of stuff, too, is Micah becomes a casualty.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like he, in my opinion, he showed good faith and he was trying to do the right thing. And, you know, like he said, he's still a young guy. You know, and it's a different world now with the podcasts and the Instagram and all that stuff. They're all doing it now. Mm-hmm. And he's kind of a casualty of this. And I'm pretty sure his agent said, look, just put this out and let's see if we can hardball the Joneses. Now,
his tweet got 10 million views in like 3 hours.
Of course.
So he put it out there and it went out there.
Of course.
Man,
we've got other problems right now, though.
It's crazy when I look at like even thinking having Micah, and we've won one playoff game with Micah.
Well, somebody came at me and said, you've played 4 playoff games with Micah. He's got 4 quarterback pressures.
Okay.
Right.
But that's even the point. We have, once again, I was saying we've won one playoff game with Micah, and it was against a non-winning team. The Bucks that were they were 7-9 or whatever they were in the playoffs.
Tom Brady.
Doesn't matter. It's just it's the fact that we haven't even not, and I'm not putting it all on Micah, just in general. This team really since we beat Seattle at home in the playoffs, that was in 2018. You're talking about 7 years. You have one friggin' with the roster and everyone that's getting paid and all this talent, we have one friggin' playoff win against a team that didn't even have with a losing record. That's insane. It's embarrassing, man. It really is.
But
here we are discussing once again. We knew that when Dak was renegotiating his contract to be the highest paid, and now we're talking with Micah now to be the highest paid non-quarterback. But we're not winning games. And we keep talking about keeping the same stuff around. I just don't understand the logic. I get the market, but I don't understand the logic. Something needs to change.
Well, I hear you there.
But it's like all around every team is dealing with this.
That was my point too. Like I think there's only one champion a year.
I agree with that, but how come these teams? What did I'm just asking. Look at the Eagles. What have the Eagles done with all this?
I mean, they re-signed Jalen Hurts. They re-signed AJ Brown.
I know, but what's Jalen Hurts getting? He's not getting more than Dak, and he won a Super Bowl.
Well, he got his deal before Dak did.
Well, he still went to a Super Bowl. Dak never went to a Super Bowl.
But I'm just saying.
My point is why do we always have to be like, oh, we gotta top it?
Man, the bullseye's on the Cowboys because we're the Cowboys. You know what I mean?
Well, it's not only that. I'm in a Raiders market. They're having the same problems too. Like, talking about even Max Crosby and how much he gets paid. I mean, he's the only real bright spot on the team.
And we better win that fucking game that we're going to.
But I'm saying that, like,
when is that again? It's a Monday night, right?
It's November, yeah.
It's a Monday night. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But, a lot of that had to do with coaching issues as well. Game preparation. Who knows? I mean, look, again, if this was 20, 30 years ago, we could predict. I mean, you can't build a team like that anymore.
I get it. But, let's talk about those coaches. Kellen Moore, who took the Detroit Lions to an NFC Championship game and almost not Detroit.
Philly,
Washington. No,
he won a Super Bowl last year. So.
No, Ben Johnson is the one that took Detroit. So I meant the Eagles, right? That's what I meant.
Yeah, he won the Super Bowl with the Eagles.
Yeah, wins the Super Bowl with the Eagles, and you got Campbell, who I was thinking of.
Okay,
another defensive coach that gets to the NFC Championship game.
Dan Campbell's not a defensive coach.
Not Dan Campbell. I'm doing horrible right now.
Dan Campbell offense, bro.
Come on, guys. The fucking Redskin guy. Help me out.
That's what I was thinking.
Dan Quinn.
Oh, Dan Quinn. Yeah.
We know our coordinators. So I don't obviously, but we do. So Dan Quinn was our defensive coordinator that we're saying they didn't have the coaches. Kellen Moore was our offensive coordinator. But when they get on other teams, hell, these teams are winning. These teams are going the distance or close enough. We can't even beat a winning fucking team in the playoffs with the players we have. I don't you guys see where I'm coming from here.
Yeah, but you just wait till Shoddy gets his hands on. Oh man.
Did you see what Des Bryant said about did you see that interview?
Bro, first of all, Des Bryant, that's another topic for another day because boy, oh boy, like Jerry Jones and his Rock Nation bullshit started a war between Des Bryant and like Nicki Minaj.
Yeah, it was like a Twitter war.
God.
But why is she mentioned her husband fighting him or something like that?
Dude,
what does he do?
Man. I have no idea, bro. He's probably just another guy, entertainer or something. I have no idea. But the guy, dude, that got brutal. And I'm like, and then who's the culprit that started all this shit? Jerry fucking Jones. He's the one starting up Twitter beef wars between Des Bryant and Nicki Minaj. Only Jerry Jones can pull that shit off, by the way.
Des also said he would rather have played with Dak than Romo.
Oh, he's an asshole for that. I didn't hear that.
Yeah. He said in an interview, he was like, if I had to pick, but he tried to give Romo props, but it's like,
Yeah, well, Des.
But then he
Des-
switched it around to Jason Garrett and made it more about Jason Garrett. Like he said, he'd rather play in this type of offense.
Well, Des Bryant also blocked me on Twitter a long time ago, so I don't really give a shit what Des Bryant has to say. And it was such a meaningless joke. It was just like he was talking shit about the front office, and all I did was reply, "Well, there go your season tickets." That was it. That's all it took. And he just fucking was like, "Oh man, F this kid." Anyway, so another position battle we have to talk about. I'm just curious because I put it on Twitter.
Running back.
Running back. Yeah, there's a lot of them right now, and again, it was the weakness of our team last year because we didn't name an actual number one until like Thanksgiving, for Christ's sakes. I think it was like Rico Dowdle's coming out party on Thanksgiving, and then the rest of the year earned him a payday in Carolina, which is, good for him. But this year, I feel like we dipped into the bargain bin as far as the veterans. Javonte Williams coming off some injuries, right? And then you had Miles Sanders coming off of something to prove. He's went on record and say, look, man, the Eagles, they didn't play me right, so I'm here to beat the Eagles now. You know what I mean? Like shit like that, which is great.
Well, he's on the Panthers last year, right, Sanders?
Yeah, but before that, he was a Philadelphia Eagle, or vice versa. He might have been with
No, he was with the Panthers last year.
Okay, well, so we basically traded fucking Miles Sanders for Rico. But now I look at the back end of that, right? And right now you got Jaden Blue doing some really, really good stuff. Hitting the holes, getting small. If football people know what that means, like he just kind of gets through that hole, he migrates through it, and he's a burner, right? And then you have guys that we've already known about, Deuce Vaughn, right? You don't know much about Phil Maffa, but Schottenheimer keeps praising him up and down. And then you have Hunter Lipke listed on the depth chart as a fullback, but the guy is basically like a Chris Cooley all of a sudden, where he's playing fullback, tailback, tight end, all this shit. So he's got multiple positions. I got a funny feeling that, one of these guys aren't going to be on the team. And I don't know who.
Well, isn't Miles Sanders is out, right?
Well, right now he's hurt, but like, he might be a cut. He might be a cut to bring back.
And they have Javonte Williams as the number one.
Right now, Javonte is listed as the one, right? And then
Jaden Blue has been, the one everybody's been talking about. So
he's fun right now. He's the fun new toy with the speed, right? He's like almost like a little bit bigger. Well, not bigger, but maybe a similar version to a Tony Pollard. Like when Tony Pollard hit the hole and he got to space, he was a quick running back. Jaden Blue's actually faster, right? So like you have all these running backs, you can't keep them all, considering the fact that there's receivers that we got to talk about for a second after this, but like you can't keep them all. Unfortunately, Keith, your boy is probably the target for a cut.
He's out too, isn't he?
No, he's injured. Deuce Vaughn's injured.
But that's not doing him any favors right now. Being
that's
injured.
why. That's the only reason. He was doing very well in camp, and then he got injured. I mean, if it happens, it happens. I look at right now. I say definitely Blue is out of all those running backs you're saying. I think, believe it or not, he's probably, and Hunter is probably those two are the safest right now.
Yeah, I would think that the veteran minimums that they signed aren't they're there.
Not. I know they got Williams on first team, but I don't even know if he's safe. To tell you the truth,
I would say they keep Williams, Blue, and Lepke, right? And then if I don't know if how serious Deuce's injury is, but I mean if he's going to go developmental again.
Well, that Maffa kid was how do you say his name?
Phil Maffa.
That he was drafted, right?
He was, but in like the sixth or seventh round.
When do we ever cut a draft choice? What's the last of the draft? Never. So he'll make the team as well. So you got.
Well, if anything, I see a practice squad for him. I can see a practice squad for him.
You have to cut him for him to go to practice squad.
Yeah. If they clear waivers,
it makes them look too bad. That's my opinion. I'm just saying. I mean, we're talking about them. We're talking about the Joneses. I mean, there's been so many players they could have.
Yeah, they don't like to be wrong.
Yeah,
they don't like to be wrong. They want to hit on every single draft.
Exactly. So that's my opinion is the four would be if Williams, Blue, Maffa, and
Hunter.
And Hunter. Those are the four. That's going to be
Miles Sanders on the outs.
Miles Sanders on the outs. Unfortunately, Deuce Vaughn because he's hurt. Maybe he'll go to practice squad. I don't know.
Yeah, I can't see an NFL team picking up Deuce Vaughn and saying like he has to be on our 53. Unless there's teams that are hurt for running back. There might be, and that's why they play the preseason, and that's why you got to worry about injuries, and that's why the rosters aren't cut until the last day now instead of the whole remember Back
Yeah,
in
they would do it
recent,
in phases.
yeah, recently they would have to cut down to this and then cut down to this and then
Well,
final
which one
cuts.
do you,
Now it's
what
just
do you
one
like better?
swap. Who do I like better? What?
No, which one do you like better? Like the system? Do you like them little
I'm a
by
fan.
little or all at once?
I'm a fan at the little by littles.
Me too.
Like
Me too.
that. Yeah, because I mean because if you get cut after 1 week, then you're like, oh, this guy must really stink, you know. Like,
Yeah.
but the fact that you have to do like one false like swoop of guys that are like,
Yeah.
thanks for everything. It's like, bro, you're going from like 90 to 52, bro.
And it's one of those things too, where it's like even if you're the final cut, you know, it's just a kind of a now everyone's the final cut, but like if you were playing, you know what I'm saying? Like before, it's like, yeah, at least I made it to the end.
Yeah,
you know, now everyone makes it to the end. It's like,
guys are going to be telling their grandkids, like, I was on the final cuts in 2026. You're like, Dad, everybody was on the final cuts in 2026.
Exactly.
I'll tell you this: the phases was more interesting, but I prefer all at once because you
Well,
don't
the thing
know.
is with phases, though, Brett, is
You can always bring guys back.
well, that's the thing. But like, if the guy gets cut after phase 1, he at least has like 2 more weeks to latch on with another team and prove his worth.
That's a good call too. I didn't even think about
You know,
that.
and get some burn somewhere else.
Player,
Because right now you're
player,
getting cut
player.
on fucking Labor Day. Like, and
But
all of a
again,
sudden,
though, that's every team. So like,
Yeah, no, I know.
every team all at once. So then they could say, look, we'll take this guy. Then they all scramble at the end. But it's more better for the team, I think, to know who's going to be a go and who's healthy. And because you could cut somebody, they're gone. Another team
then-
picks them up, and then now you get an injury, and now you're like, shit.
all at
and
once.
to your point, that's probably the biggest plus to this is having all those guys on your depth chart. And if something catastrophic were to happen in a fucking joint practice this afternoon, you at least have some depth. Another
So
thing
all at once. We're all in. I'm not in agreement with all at once.
I'm not either. I'm just saying there's
Brett,
positives to each way is what I'm
I
saying.
can't get now. I just got the Whitney Houston song stuck in my head.
All at
All at once.
No, I'm saying in phases it's better for the player, and then all at once is better for the team. But if they're all doing
All
it,
at once.
now they can just scramble and
Yeah.
get some value. But
Yeah.
our O line, it's funny. Everybody gets mad when we draft O linemen, but it's situations like this we're in now where
What?
Oh, I thought you were doing that on purpose.
Doing what?
This is exactly what Sturch texted to us about the O lineman. I thought you were stealing it because I know you like to steal shit, like and make joke, like fuck with people.
oh yeah, I forgot Sturch texted
Sturch
that.
actually texted that. He goes, "Everyone gets pissed when we draft offensive lineman when he went down."
Well, we had
And
a conversation.
I thought you were being perfect. My bad.
No,
That's
but
why-
we have conversations. We have conversations off the phone.
I
mean,
just
off
remember
the
him putting
podcast.
that in a text. and
Yeah,
then
you're
you were
right,
like
you did.
verbatim.
Just so everybody's clear, Micah
But we're in
Parsons is
agreement.
on the field right now, stretching, warming up, not padded. So he will be there in practice.
I wish you did,
there.
bro. It would have been so much better.
I know, right? If he just shows
It
up
would
and
have
says,
been
fuck
so.
you,
I
I'm
just wanted the
playing.
perfect face. I thought it was coming.
No. Another guy I'm really excited about, which is contrary to everything I've said in the first 5 years of this podcast, is Joe Milton. I'm very excited to see Joe Milton do his thing. He's going to get a lot of playing time. Him and Will Greer are going to get a lot of playing time in these first 3 games. I'm interested to see what he can do.
Oh, yeah.
Keith, you were very bullish on him when we got him. You're like, I like this kid. I've always
Well, I
liked this
saw
kid.
Tennessee with SEC, and I was very excited when I used to like watching Tennessee play when he was there, and that's why I was excited. I know people on Twitter were bashing him and said he was trash.
No, he's,
But
listen,
now
he's
here's
still-
my
he's still
thing.
raw. He's still raw. you know, like-
Absolutely. So I actually have a good friend who's a Tennessee fan that I play football with, and I asked him about him, and he loves him. He said, but what he said to me, which was interesting, is his big knock was his deep ball. He said that's what his problem was, and a lot of times he was afraid to throw deep and get picked off, that he would overthrow people a lot in college because he was so afraid of someone getting. So that's what he said. His only
better
knock
to
was.
overthrow him than underthrow him and get past.
Exactly. So
Got it.
maybe someone like Turbin, you can't really overthrow. You know what
No,
I'm saying?
you can't
So-
overthrow that guy. Not even if you tried. So yeah, Joe Milton's going to get some burn today. Dak will get some burn today, which is good in a joint practice. I don't know how many reps you'll get, but they're starting to warm up now as we record this
wish I went.
on a Tuesday afternoon. I know, dude. Trust me. I've kicked around the idea. I think I officially want to
Bro,
go.
I'm an hour away. I mean,
Oh, what are you waiting for? What are you
Well, 'cause
waiting
you
for?
said we had a podcast. You're more
Oh
important than
shit! It would have been better if you were Keith Ernst live on location, dude.
Yeah.
Like you would have been like, hey, Dak's behind me. Let's talk.
The Grinch live yelling at everybody.
Yeah,
Hey, Gavone Clark, you suck! Get out of there!
Like, who the hell is this guy? And what is this Jersey Boyz Podcast t-shirt he's wearing? No, don't worry about that. He's not anything. So look, we talked about a lot of the positions. Obviously, we'll see how it all plays out and shakes out this week and into the weekend. No cuts to be had. We'll talk a lot about what we saw, what we liked or we didn't like next week. But it really, the number one thing is to stay healthy. Like Brett was saying before, we do lose a Tyler Guyton. So now you have to worry about guys like Asim Richards, Nate Thomas, Brock Hoffman, guys like that. I'm not sure who's going to win that position. I know we just re-signed Lyle Collins. Welcome back. He hasn't been on a football field in 2-3 years. So that's interesting. I think 2022, he suffered a bad injury. The Cowboys brought him back, never made it past practice squad. So we brought him back once before, and then he went somewhere else.
He went to the Bengals, didn't he? He was on the Bengals.
Yeah. But I'm saying, like, he was also brought back to the Cowboys prior to this. This is like his third stint with us. He never made it back past the practice squad. So I'm interested to see, his rev up period. Look, the one guarantee that we have on this team right now is Brandon Aubrey. That's about as guarantee as you're possibly going to get. One of the better kickers in the NFL. So if we can get to the 35, you would think that we get some points out of that drive. So that's a good thing. But there's like I said, a lot to.
Did you see the new kickoff implemented, right? Brett, you know what it is, right?
So
you
like, yeah, but
wouldn't it?
No, it's new again. If you kick it short of the thing, you get the ball in the 40 as if you kicked it out of bounds.
What?
If you
no.
Yeah.
No, I think if you kick it out of the end zone, it goes to the 35.
No, but if you kick it short of the landing zone.
You mean if it goes out of bounds?
In bounds, short of the landing zone, which is like a box, whatever.
And it bounces?
Dude, it's if you get the ball in the 40.
Why wouldn't you try to bounce every time? So wait a second.
They want NBA scores is what they want. Is what they really fucking want.
That doesn't make sense. So basically.
No, I'm reading it now.
Go ahead. What do you got, Brett?
All right. Well, I was going to say that. All right, go ahead, bro.
All right. It says 35-yard line.
All right, if it goes out of the end zone, right? Which is great.
So a touchback used to be the 20, and now it used to be the 30, and now it's the 35.
Now it's the 35, which all Dak has to do is get 10 yards for Aubrey's three-pointer, man. That's it.
We're going to be winning games like 12-6 and shit. And we're like, yep, played a hell of a game. Aubrey went 4 for 4.
Yeah. No, how about that? How about we win like 30-0? We shut him out, man. Fantasy-wise, Brandon Aubrey has 800
Do you remember
points.
that game? I think we beat Green Bay 21-0 on 7 field goals. Yeah.
It says that the NFL's made significant changes for the 2025 season. The new format, that's what I thought was introduced, but it's now the touchbacks are now spotted at the 35 line. Additionally, the setup zone for the receiving team has been expanded, allowing up to 3 players to line up off the 35-yard line, but only one in each designated area, sidelines to hash to hash. And now onside kicks now have a dedicated set of rules, and teams can declare an onside kick at any point in the fourth quarter if trailing.
Last year, you could only do it if you were losing.
Right.
And in the final 2 minutes or some shit. Now you can do it whenever you want.
No, it's only fourth quarter. If you're trailing, you have to
take the fucking element of. Remember one of the biggest plays in Super Bowl history is Sean Payton's surprise onside kick to start a half, and now you can't even remotely think about doing that.
Do you remember the Eagles game where Randall Williams, I think his name was, where they tried the onside kick in the beginning and he returned it for a touchdown? I was at the game.
Yeah, well, I remember Randall Williams.
But he set the. I think that was his name.
I think it was his name too.
That's the record though, for the quickest touchdown ever. I think it was like 6 seconds, and it still is.
He ran the 6-second 45-yard dash.
Literally, they opened first quarter. They opened on an onside kick. This dude gets it, and bro, I was there. I was going nuts. That's the picture with me with the makeup on my body.
Oh, well, shit! That's a legendary game in itself.
Tex Graham got inducted to the hall to the Ring of Honor. It's like, dude, it's one of the greatest days. Honestly, probably, yeah. If it goes that, then maybe my wedding day, maybe.
Fucking dude, I swear to Christ, the other night I'm watching SummerSlam and Brock Lesnar comes back, and I'm like, I jump off my chair, and my wife is like, "What is wrong with you?" And I'm like, "It's fucking Brock, bro." so stupid.
Is it kid wrestling now?
Best game Keith were ever at was that Sunday night game.
That was, bro, and that is one. But I meant going to Texas Stadium.
Yeah.
Me and bro,
dude, I met Crazy Ray, and he signed my shirt. He was in a wheelchair then. It was just
signed my chest.
Yeah, it was like the greatest. It was the greatest time. I mean, I couldn't.
I mean,
what was crazy?
We had to beat him forever.
Wasn't it, by the way. I keep thinking though, wasn't it Whistling Ray they called him?
Who? No, it's Crazy Ray, dude.
I thought it was Whistling Ray.
Maybe it was
like our second podcast ever.
It could have been Crazy Whistling Ray, but it's Crazy Ray's. I got the shirt, dude.
I got the shirt, man.
Yeah, it's Crazy Ray.
Did they call him Whistling Ray? He used to whistle all the time.
Crazy Whistling Ray, maybe.
Me and Brett saw a couple
be in the
bangers,
Ring of Honor,
man.
He should be in the Ring of Honor.
Let's go back to episode 2 when we tried to start a petition.
I mean, it's hard when Harvey Martin's not in there. I mean, when you think about it, and all these other players.
Oh, you know what? You know what? This is perfect to round out this podcast. And I know we talked about Micah a lot at length, but I was talking on Twitter, and one of these old school Cowboy fans jumped down my throat when I said that Micah Parsons, not this second, but when it's all said and done, Micah Parsons can go down as a top 5, top 10 Cowboy ever. And somebody was like, what the fuck? What are you talking about? And then he's like, he's not even top 50 right now. And I'm like, all right, you historian. Relax. You know, like,
it wasn't me. Disguised.
Yeah, I felt like I was talking to you, to be honest.
You're talking top 5 Cowboys on defense of all time?
No, he's saying all-time Cowboys.
Top 10 all-time Cowboys.
Micah?
Maybe. I'm not saying.
No,
I'm saying see, you're saying no, but
I disagree. I
career like
can see what Sturch. Let me defend you here. I can see what he's talking about, and he's just saying if he has
he's 5 years into this shit.
He's saying like after 12,
he could be. Is that what you're saying?
The potential of him. That's why I said I was like on Twitter. I was like, he could potentially be one of the all-time great Cowboys ever. So that's why you secure this deal. You get it done. Somebody jumped down my throat like, "Wow, he's not even top 50 right now." And I was like, okay, you can't name 49 better Cowboys ever right now. And I'm not saying you guys got to do that.
I would say he has the potential right now. I mean, if you're looking at potential, I mean, I guess, but
right. That's all I said. That's I said. He has the potential to. He's 4 years into his NFL career. If he plays,
dude, his biggest comparison has been LT. If he turns into LT, then yes.
Right. So, but I don't have 3 heads. You know what I mean? Like, it's a fucking guy who's like, fucking Too Tall Jones. I'm like, I get it, Too Tall Jones. Great, bro. I understand. I wasn't fucking alive when the guy was playing, but I know he's got.
You were.
Listen, if you're
is
going
he
to make
80s?
a statement,
start 89. He was there 1 in 15 season. Go ahead, bro.
Sorry.
If you're going to make a statement, he has potentially. What do you expect? I mean, when you're saying all time, then you got to consider the Bob Lillies and the Randy Whites,
of course,
and the Hollywood. I mean, I compare him more to Hollywood Henderson. They have that similar type of speed and athleticism. I mean, remember, Hollywood Henderson was returning kickoffs. And
Michael Parsons can play quarterback.
I'm saying he has that athletic potential, but there's too many right now to even speculate.
Of course. So,
like, then why tweet it?
Well, because I'm saying when they're talking about why sign the guy when he hasn't done shit yet, right? When he hasn't won Defensive Player of the Year yet. None of that stuff. He hasn't won a playoff game to Keith's point. We haven't won any playoff games and shit of note, right? So like people are like, why do you sign a guy like that? Because I said, well, because he has the potential to be one of the all-time greats if you just stick with the kid. That's all.
Okay, but it's all relative, right? He's top 5 in the NFL now.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But all time is just such a.
Well, how about this? How about with
Cowboys? Not fanboy tweet. I'm talking about the Cowboys in itself.
But how about this? How about
such a fanboy tweet?
Well, that's what he. But that's.
I'm a fucking fan.
He's not only a fan, bro. But you say it all the time. This is what he does. I mean, this is Sturch's thing, man. He's into this. He's got his own sports network. I mean, this is what he does.
Yeah, but no, what I'm saying is his reaction is he's surprised that somebody jumped down his throat. I get that.
No, what I'm saying is I'm not surprised because those are for debates. Those are for debates,
that's
right?
What I mean.
So like I'm not surprised, but like when somebody comes back and says, he's one of those guys like yelling at the clouds, like he's no, and I'm like, I get it, bro. I'm not saying he is right now. That about he's not even fucking Charles Haley yet. You know what I mean? He's barely a Cowboy.
But I'm saying you could say that about CeeDee Lamb. He has the potential to be the top 5 greatest Cowboy receivers of all time.
Sure does.
You could say that about anybody with potential.
right?
But, but I think what triggered the guy is him saying top 10 Cowboy of all time, not pass rusher, right? I think that's what's more.
Right.
Well, let me ask you a question. Would you put DeMarcus Ware in top 10 Cowboys of all time?
DeMarcus Ware.
That's what I was gonna bring that up.
DeMarcus Ware. The problem is, to me, in my mind, you look at the '90s Cowboys. That's the most successful Cowboys were in the '90s when they won 3 and 4 years.
True.
So like you look right away, I'm like, well, the triplet's got to be in the top 10, right? Like Aikman, Emmett, Irvin, right? That's 3 off the rip. So Aikman, Emmett, Irvin. Then you talk about the '70s Cowboys, Staubach, Dorsett. That's 5 right there, right? Yeah. So to DeMarcus Ware, I love him. He's a Hall of Famer. He won a Super Bowl with the Broncos. Top 10 all time. I want to say no, because then I also start talking about offensive linemen like Larry Allen and fucking, Nate Newton and those guys. Like it is tough, but I wouldn't put him there.
Oh, don't forget about Randy White and Bob Lilly.
That's what I'm saying. Guys that I have not seen. I went to the 90s. You guys can go back to the 70s, 80s.
Bob Lilly, just to put it in perspective, Bob Lilly would have dominated today. That's what an athlete
That's what I've been told from others too.
Dude, it was crazy what the guy could do. And Randy White, I mean, you're talking about a linebacker converted to a defensive tackle.
Yeah.
And, this guy, if you watch Randy White's highlights, he's running down running backs that from behind. And not only that, the guy never stepped off the field. He played every down. They didn't rotate.
And here's the thing, and in the defense too of the old timers. I mean, we never saw Bob Lilly play. We just know, I know your dad did, but I'm saying though, for Brett to say that, it's kind of like watching the video, just knowing and understanding. And I feel that happens. And I do it too, man. I mean, people forget about the old timers way too much. They really do, man.
It's because of the recency bias between social media and much like if there was social media back then, would there be would certain players have more clout because they have the ability to tweet their highlight video?
Well, no,
you know what I mean? Saying
it's more the athleticism versus like an athlete versus a player. And the problem today is a lot of people equate athleticism as being a good player when there is no.
Doesn't always translate. It doesn't translate.
Like
all
Chris
the time.
Spielman, I mean, the guy had one of the slowest 40s of all time.
But what's his face? Brian Bosworth was touted as one of the greatest linebackers coming into the NFL, and he got ran over by Bo. You know what I mean? So
I was going to say that the 90s though, the 90s Cowboys. I know Brett keeps saying about the rotation in the 80s, but in the 90s, that's what made them so good was that rotation.
I know. Tony Tolbert, Russell Maryland, guys like that can come in and out.
Defensive ends. You had Tolbert, Jeff Coat, Charles Haley.
Tony Casillas was in there in the interior.
Yeah, exactly. You just had this Daniel Stubbs, Jimmy Jones, a constant rotation of them. And they were badass, bro. That's to me, that's the best defense I've ever seen play was that 90s defense.
I don't think I'll ever be able to relate Jeff Coat to anything other than Brett's skit where he's like we just got Jeff Coat. That's great. Put your mother on the phone.
Yeah.
It reminds me of my childhood so much. Like no matter what I said, it didn't matter.
Anyway, he's the most underrated Cowboy to me. Only because I mean, they did their top 50 or something. They didn't even put him on it. It's like, dude,
we can get and no bullshit. We can get him
sacks.
We can get him on the podcast.
Sacks in his career or something.
I think we can get him on the podcast.
Please.
Yeah,
we get Jeff Coat, man. I'd be
because
myself.
I'm now friends with a really close friend of his now. So it's like that connection was just made not too long
ago.
Remember
his son, Jackson Jeff Coat, I think. I think we signed him for a minute because he had a good college career, but he just didn't pan out in the NFL anyway.
You know, I was also thinking about not that I don't want to go down this rabbit hole, but like the running backs that were on this team.
Oh yeah, what about Tony Dorsett?
Well, I said Dorsett, but like even Drew Pearson. I didn't say Drew Pearson. You know what I mean? Like,
right?
So,
it's crazy.
Yeah, so DeMarcus Ware starts to slide down the list. But I was thinking about the running backs of everybody that we've had past Emmett between now, like Emmett and now, bro. Like go if you want a rabbit hole, look at the players that we were running the football with. If you guys don't remember, we had guys like Chris Warren on our team.
I remember. Well, he was actually Emmett's back. They were on the same team.
Yeah, but I'm saying like after Emmett left, it was like, doesn't matter. We got Chris Warren. It's like, okay, cool. Anyway. By the way, the drama's unfolding right now before our very eyes. John Machota just tweeted out a video of Micah and Jerry Jones during warmups as they are 7 yards apart from each other. It's like they're just like doing one of these like like they're not they don't want to talk, I don't want to talk to you. Anyway, that'll wrap it up for this week's episode.
Yeah, my dog just threw up.
Oh, Jesus Christ. You know why? Because he heard my list of top fucking 10
Yeah,
Cowboys.
he didn't agree with it.
All right, let's do our game predictions because Brett has a must-win game for this Rams preseason game.
Guys, this is the first of a very important season game win. We must win this game against the Rams. Who are we scrimmaging today? The Chargers?
Rams. No, the Rams.
Right?
Yeah. So we can't give away too many secrets on this scrimmage, man. We got to save it for the first preseason.
I actually like us in this game because I think Milton's going to have, and I like Greer as well. So I'm saying because you got to go with the quarterbacks. You have to. That's what. Because no more DiNucci. I said I don't know if you guys took my advice, but you would have won so much money every preseason game DiNucci was in when he was on our team. I told you to go against it, and you would have won a shitload of money.
Yeah.
But DiNucci's gone now.
DiNucci's gone now.
He's just out.
Shout out to his brand, his true brand, Dallas Cowboy hats, by the way. But so you got the Cowboys winning. Yeah, I'll take the Cowboys dub. Let's get that first one.
Yeah,
let's get that first dub out of
the Stetson kid, right? The Rams, the Stetson, the Georgia quarterback.
Yeah.
And who else?
I think we handle him. I think we take care of business. I'm me right now. Sorry.
All right,
27-13. What?
I got to clean this up.
All right, go clean it up. We'll clean up the podcast and post it up. Good luck to the Cowboys this weekend. No fucking injuries, please.
We'll be texting. Sturch will be all upset. Keith will be shitting on everyone.
See, Damone Clark still can't fill a hole. Fucking jerk off. See you guys next week. Let's go, Cowboys.
Hey, this is Tony Soprano, and you're listening to Jersey Boyz Podcast with your hosts, Dave Sturchio and the Ernst Boys. I mean, I could give a shit about the Cowboys. We're in New Jersey. These guys got balls being Cowboys fans in Jersey. Anyways, enjoy. Whatever.
How about this, Cowboys?